A single forgotten road once connected empires across continents, shaping the destiny of entire civilizations. Stay with me as we uncover 10 lost highways, and number 1 is something almost nobody guesses. Imagine a paved corridor stretching over 2,500 kilometers, linking Susa to Sardis and enabling the Achaemenid Empire to govern with unprecedented speed. Built around 500 BCE, the Royal Road featured waystations called Chapa Kane where royal messengers could change horses, cutting communication time from weeks to days. This network facilitated not only military orders but also the flow of tribute, ideas, and early forms of standardized weights and measures. Archaeologists have uncovered remnants of stone foundations and wheel ruts that hint at its sophisticated engineering, including drainage channels to protect the road from seasonal floods. While some scholars debate the exact width of the highway, consensus holds that its existence marked a pivotal shift toward centralized administration. The Royal Road thus set a template for later imperial routes, demonstrating how infrastructure can bind diverse peoples into a single political entity.
Surprisingly, a dusty trail across the Arabian Peninsula carried priceless aromatics that powered economies from the Mediterranean to South Asia. Originating in the 3rd millennium BCE, the Incense Route linked the frankincense and myrrh groves of Dofa with ports on the Red Sea, where merchants exchanged the fragrant resins for gold, ivory, and textiles. The journey spanned harsh deserts, demanding caravans of camels and expert guides who navigated seasonal winds and hidden water sources. Recent satellite imaging reveals faint linear depressions marking the ancient track, while inscriptions at caravanserais attest to a complex system of tolls and protection contracts. Though exact dates of peak activity vary among researchers, the route's influence on religious rituals and luxury markets is widely acknowledged. Ultimately, the Incense Route illustrates how a single commodity can stitch together distant cultures through a fragile yet enduring highway.
Around the 2nd century BCE, traders ventured north of the traditional silk corridors, carving a rugged passage through the Altai Mountains that linked China with the steppes of Central Asia. This northern branch facilitated the exchange of silk, jade, and horse breeds, while also transmitting Buddhist teachings into the Eurasian heartland. The route's high altitude demanded sturdy stone bridges and seasonal waystations stocked with dried meat and yak butter to sustain travelers through brutal winters. Archaeologists have documented fortified outposts where nomadic tribes negotiated safe passage, and some scholars suggest the corridor contributed to the spread of the Hunnic confederations centuries later. Though exact traffic volumes remain uncertain, the branch's role in diversifying the silk network underscores how geography shaped cultural diffusion across continents.
Few people know that a glittering stream of fossilized resin once traveled from the Baltic coast to the Mediterranean, forming the legendary Amber Road. Beginning in the Late Bronze Age, the route wove through dense forests and river valleys, allowing merchants to barter amber for copper, tin, and Mediterranean wine. Excavations along the Elbe and Danube basins have uncovered amber beads in graves far from their source, confirming long-distance exchange. While estimates of the road's total length vary, researchers agree that its existence fostered early economic ties between Northern Europe and the classical world. The amber trade also inspired mythic tales of seaborne treasure, reflecting the material's prized status. In essence, this luminous highway illustrates how a single natural resource can spark extensive networks across disparate cultures.
Hidden in the arid sweep of the Levant lies the King's Highway, a route that stretched from Egypt's Nile Delta to the Euphrates Valley. First mentioned in Egyptian texts of the 13th century BCE, the road later became a backbone of Israelite, Assyrian, and later Roman logistics. Stone markers and fortified wells dotted the path, providing essential rest points for traders moving spices, timber, and livestock. Biblical accounts and later Roman itineraries both reference the highway, suggesting its continuous use for over a millennium. While modern scholars debate the precise alignment of certain segments, the consensus is that the road facilitated political control and cultural exchange across the Near East. Its legacy endures in the modern highways that trace its ancient footprint.
Deep beneath the endless Sahara, a network of trade tracks emerged around the 1st millennium CE, linking West African gold fields with North African Mediterranean ports. The Trans-Saharan Caravan Trail relied on camel caravans capable of surviving long stretches without water, and waystations known as Kaysar where merchants exchanged salt, gold, and ivory. Archaeological surveys have identified ancient wells and stone foundations that served as oases for weary travelers. Some estimates suggest that at its height, the trail moved up to 100 tons of gold annually, though exact figures remain debated. The route also acted as a conduit for Islam, spreading religious ideas and literacy across the desert. In sum, this highway demonstrates how ingenuity turned a harsh environment into a thriving commercial artery.
Legend says a single road once stretched from the eastern coast of Bengal to the northwestern frontiers of modern Pakistan, becoming the backbone of South Asian empires. Known as the Grand Trunk Road, its origins trace back to the Mauryan Empire around 300 BCE, later expanded by the Gupta and Mughal dynasties. The road facilitated the movement of armies, scholars, and spices, linking major cities such as Pataliputra, Delhi, and Lahore. Stone pillars and mile markers erected by Emperor Ashoka still stand as silent witnesses to its early importance. While contemporary historians differ on the exact length, estimates range from 2,400 to 2,800 kilometers, the road's impact on political cohesion and economic integration is widely accepted. Today, modern highways trace much of its ancient course, underscoring its lasting influence.
Archaeologists have identified a coastal artery that connected Egypt's Nile Delta with the Levantine cities of Byblos and Tyre, known as the Via Maris, or Way of the Sea. Established during the early Bronze Age, the route followed the Mediterranean shoreline, allowing Egyptian pharaohs to project power and trade goods such as papyrus, grain, and timber northward. Remnants of fortified outposts and port facilities attest to its strategic importance, while Egyptian reliefs depict bustling caravans moving along the road. Although exact dates of construction are contested, the consensus places its primary use between 1300 and 1200 BCE. The Via Maris thus served as a maritime land hybrid corridor that knit together early Mediterranean cultures.
Travelers from the Roman Empire to the Chinese Han Dynasty coveted the fragrant spices of the Indian Ocean, prompting the development of an extensive maritime highway during the early centuries CE. The route linked ports such as Muziris, Calicut, and Aden, where merchants exchanged pepper, cinnamon, and cardamom for glassware, silk, and precious metals. Monsoon wind patterns dictated sailing schedules, allowing ships to round the Cape of Good Hope and return within a year. While exact cargo volumes remain speculative, historical accounts from the periplus of the Erythraean Sea describe bustling bazaars and sophisticated credit systems. The route's vitality fostered cross-cultural interactions, spreading not only goods but also ideas, religions, and technologies across continents.
Modern scholars recognize that the Silk Road did not end at China's coast. A maritime extension carried silk, ceramics, and tea across the South China Sea to Southeast Asia and beyond. Beginning around the 1st century CE, Chinese junks navigated a chain of island waystations, exchanging goods for exotic woods, spices, and gold from the Malay archipelago. Shipwrecks recovered near the Spratly Islands reveal cargoes of porcelain fragments and silk bolts, confirming the route's reach. While precise timelines differ among researchers, the consensus is that this oceanic highway persisted until the rise of European sea powers in the 15th century. Its legacy lies in the cultural syncretism evident in coastal art, language, and cuisine throughout the region, illustrating how maritime pathways can reshape entire civilizations.
We have traced the rise and fall of 10 forgotten arteries that once pulsed with the lifeblood of ancient economies, from desert caravans to mountain passes. These routes reveal how trade forged language, technology, and shared belief systems, reminding us that connectivity has always driven progress. If you enjoyed this journey through time, subscribe so you don't miss the next mind-blowing list. New episodes arrive each week. Which highway surprised you most, and what modern route do you think mirrors its impact? Let me know in the comments, and if you found the story compelling, give it a like. Thanks for watching.